Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I'd like to invite the speaker, Mr. Deepak Rajmohan, who will talk about natural plant extracts to minimize microbial growth and
Yeah.
ripening control. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate inviting me to come. So just to give a quick intro about what we do at Greenpod Labs. Greenpod Labs, we are a biotech company. So we develop products to extend the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. That's our core focus. So we use plant-based ingredients to extend the shelf life. So the problem what we're trying to solve, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. But still about 40% of fresh produce is lost before it reaches the consumer. And that's costing the country about $12 billion. And it contributes for about 64 million tons of greenhouse gas emission. It's a massive problem. And that's what we are trying to address. So we have developed a active packaging which activates a plant's defense mechanism to slow down the ripening rate on one side and prevent any microbial growth on the other hand. So we use plant-based ingredients. These plant-based extracts acts as a signal molecule to activate specific defense mechanism within the food and vegetable. The science, what we are using, plants inbuilt defense mechanism. It comes from the pre-harvest level. So whenever there's a external stress on the plant, be it a biotic or abiotic stress, the plant releases volatiles, which activates the defense mechanism on the neighboring plant. So we've studied these communication platforms, and then that's how we've built our products. So we identify specific defense mechanism in each fruit and vegetable. We develop a proprietary formulation using plant extracts and plant polymers. We use data to precisely customize for each commodity. So the product comes in different packaging insert forms. For banana, we provide these sheets of shelf life extension, which is placed inside the banana boxes, which releases plant-based ingredients to extend the shelf life and delay the ripening during long distance transport. So the patented technology, so we have several patents on the product formulation and technology primarily, and we've received several grants and awards on the technology as well. So on a commodity level, we focus on three major commodities. We look at mangoes, bananas, and citrus. So across these commodities, we work on multiple technologies. So on average, we can extend the shelf life by a factor of 40 to 60% at ambient temperatures, 35 degrees Celsius, across multiple commodities, be it like strawberry, mangoes, and avocados. These are early stage testings, but we can provide the value for multiple commodities. So we use 100% natural ingredients, plant-based, edible and natural ingredients. All our ingredients are used FDA GRAS compliant. And we've also worked with Indian FSCI to get a scientific approval on the product. And we prove that the product leaves zero residue and it does not impact the nutrition of the crop as well. Across the farm to fork supply chain, we look at three target customers. We look at farmers, farmer cooperatives, middlemen, traders, exporters, and the retail, e-commerce and retail. And the use cases is primarily like either we support storage or transport of fresh produce to a longer distance. Either it's transported within India or to international market. And we will look at commodities which is high value and high volume. The value what we provide for the customers are bucketed into four things. Like the product can extend the shelf life by a factor of 40 to 60%. The product works across a wide range of temperatures from 8 degrees Celsius to about 40 degrees Celsius. We can reduce the spoilage by 80% and provide a 4x ROI. So this is a short video of one of our customers transporting mangoes from down South India to North India. She used to get a 80 to 90% spoilage. And by using our product, we were able to bring that spoilage down to less than 1%. These are significant value add what we are able to provide for our customers. So we have this core technology, which is the shelf life extension technology, where our active ingredients are released from product forms, either like a sachet form or like a card form, and that releases sustained manner volatiles, which extends the shelf life. We also have few other products. There's a second product what we have where these products can absorb excess moisture, and by absorbing excess moisture, it can extend the shelf life. And we also have fruit coating technology where we use food grade ingredients to do a fruit coating on different fruits. The core understanding of the commodity comes from multiple layers of data breakdown of each crop. So we break down the crop into 5 layers of data, starting from the imaging, RGB X-ray imaging to physiological weight, color, texture, bricks, to respiration rate, ethylene production, molecular level data, and crop volatiles. And by understanding this, we're able to understand the commodity much better. And we have built products and technologies using that AI as well. So yeah, so we are a team of 25 people. So I think this is a quick conversation what I had. Happy to take on questions, understand what is their requirement, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Deepak. Now I'll take up some questions. Okay. So some could be some basic questions. Yeah. So what types of plant extracts are most effective in dealing right?
So we use close to about like 30, 35 different plant extracts. And these are commodity specific. So there's no one plant extract which helps every commodity. So we understand what are the biochemical pathways within a fruit, and then which one will add a significant value. We develop products based on that.
Okay. And can these extracts completely replace chemical preservatives?
We're not using these plant extracts as a preservative. Using these plant extracts as a signal molecule to activate the internal immune system within the fruit and vegetable. Yes, we are replacing the chemical area ingredients for natural products, but we are not using it as the in the traditional way as a preservative. These are used as a volatile signal molecules.
Okay. And are there any crops for which your solution works best?
As I mentioned, we are primarily working on banana, mangoes, and citrus.
Okay. And what is the application method? Spray, coating, or packaging based?
Yeah, packaging inserts is the primary area, and beyond that, we also provide coating.
Okay. And how cost effective is this technology for small and marginal farmers?
So we provide the product at a pricing of 2.5 rupees to 5 rupees per unit, which they can use it for 10 to 20 kg of storage.
Okay. And sorry, does this extracts affect the taste or nutritional quality of the produce?
It is not. We've done third-party testings to prove that the product does not impact the nutrition, and it does not impact the primary like sensory properties as well.
Okay. And is it approved for use in export markets?
Yes, all our ingredients are US FDA GRAS compliant, And we've got a FSA approval as well.
Okay. And is this solution, sorry, how long can the shelf life of fruits and vegetables be extended using this method?
We can extend the shelf life by 40 to 60%. So it differs for different commodities, but on a percentage level, 40 to 60%.
Okay. And can they be produced or sourced locally by farmers?
I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, sorry. Can these extracts be produced or sourced by locally by farmers?
Yes, it can be, but we look for a specific purity and specific concentration. So we work with manufacturers directly. We don't work with any small scale farmers right now on this.
Okay. And next question, what specific antimicrobial compounds in the plant extracts are responsible for inhibiting microbial growth and how do they function at the molecular level?
Again, we're not using antimicrobials, right? So the products what we use or ingredients what we use acts as a signal molecule. So we use several plant extracts, which when it's released as a volatile, it acts as a signal molecule to activate the internal immune system within the fruit. So it doesn't act as a specific um, antimicrobial basis.
Okay. And how do these extracts differentiate between harmful microbes and beneficial microbiota present on the fresh produce surfaces?
I mean, that's what I said. The ingredients are not microbial control, like antimicrobial primarily. The product activates the internal immune system. By doing so, it slows down the ripening rate and slows down the microbial growth.
Okay. And what is the mode of action of your technology in controlling ethylene production or perception in fruits?
Yeah, so the product, so the ingredients, when it's released as volatile, it goes and binds at the receptors for different pathways. And when those receptors are bind, it down regulates or upregulates certain genes. So for banana, we slow down the internal ethylene production by slowing down the enzymes which is responsible for ethylene production. That's the mode of action what we have on that.
Okay. And have any resistant mechanisms been observed in microbes when exposed to repeated application of these plant-based solutions?
Again, that's not relevant for us because the product does not control microbial growth as a fungicide. The product primarily activates the internal immune system to extend the shelf life.
Okay. And what are the challenges in efficacy of natural events?
Your voice is breaking.
What are the challenges? Box 1 second. Yeah. I posted the hello.
What are the challenges? Yes. What are the
Yeah.
challenges ensuring consistency of efficacy? Yeah, again, this is definitely a major challenge because when you work with a natural plant, there's seasonality problems, there's species problem, and several other challenges. So how we have navigated that is we are working with major suppliers of these plant extracts. And then we ensure that the purity is managed to our requirement. And every batch of material what we take, we do extensive amount of QC to make sure uh, the ingredient consistency or ingredient quality is not altered. That's how we've been navigating that.
Right. Okay. And can you take be integrated with existing chain or modified atmospheric packaging systems for enhanced results?
Yeah, it is definitely possible. The product form can be altered to achieve different functionalities. We are also working on several of those product forms. So yes, it is possible, and yeah, we are figuring out different ways of doing it.
Okay. And have any toxicity or allergenicity studies been conducted to ensure consumer and handler safety during large scale applications?
So as I mentioned before, all our ingredients are approved to be used in the food products. It's directly been approved to use on inside the food products. So we don't have to get any separate understanding of this.
Comparative landscape in India and abroad impact the commercialization of such
Your voice is
biocontrolled
breaking again.
products?
Your voice is breaking again.
Okay, sorry. Now you can check in chat
Yeah, I
box.
can
I
hear you.
posted the question in the chat box.
Okay. How does the regulatory landscape? Yeah, so I think the regulatory landscape is developing in a lot of markets. It's still because it's a niche market and because the category is not well known. It's still on the development stage. With respect to India, because there was no category, we had to get a separate scientific approval on the product. Um, and for international market as well, this is definitely a challenge what we need to navigate. There is more awareness what is coming out, and then the government is also pushing through building more policies and more regulatory requirements on this. But yeah, the framework itself is lacking right now. Hopefully, next 1 or 2 years, it will get better.
Okay. And just last two questions. Are there any scalability limitations in sourcing or extracting these compounds sustainably for industrial use?
Yeah, I think when you're operating with plant-based ingredients, definitely scalability and access of certain ingredients is a challenge. And finding the highest purity based ingredients and making sure the extraction process is right is always challenging. So we do look at ingredients from that lens. So when we are choosing a new ingredient, we do look at how accessible is this ingredient, what are the manufacturing possibility for this ingredient, how often is this ingredient used in other food products. If we find an ingredient which is not readily available or it's not like uh, manufacture possible from large scale, we do find alternative ingredients which might provide a similar functionality and then work on that. So it's definitely a challenge. But the route what we have taken is we don't choose an ingredient which is not scalable. So
Okay. And last question. What data or metrics do you use to measure the success of ripening, delay, and microbial inhabitation in real supply conditions? That is farm to
yeah,
retail.
so right. So we do that in a couple of ways. One, there is a physical evaluation where we can understand if the product is delaying the ripening or controlling the microbial growth. And then using objective data as well. We collect a lot of objective data like respiration rate, ripening rate, transpiration rate. We collect the molecular level data, be it the gene expression data or other internal molecular level data. By measuring the physical understanding and also the internal data, we're able to clearly quantify what's the shelf life extension we can provide. Even at the customer level, after the supply chain is done, we do provide services to quantify different parameters during that supply chain. And then based on that, make a call how the product is working for them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just last question. Please let us know a little about your career background and your what made you to start your company, Greenpods. Green, I mean.
So I come from a research background, so I did my bachelor's in agricultural engineering, and then I moved to US for my master's in food science. And then I worked as a food scientist for Danone for a couple of years, and then quit the job, moved back to India to start Greenpod Labs. So the primary objective of Greenpod Labs was to solve the food waste problem. India being the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables, still the losses have been significant for last several years. That was a motivation. That's what made me feel that like this have to be solved. So felt there's an opportunity to solve this problem. Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's good to know. So I don't see any more questions. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agriculture.com, we'd like to thank you for the presentation and answering all the questions. So we'll be in this meeting now.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye bye.